What is?
Street trees.
On a ground level?
They're just gone. Two. There's two in his front yard.
Yeah.
Film himself?
I don't know. I was like, I mean, they're only probably 4 or 5 years old, if that. Everything else was live and fine, and it's like, we don't have the these.
Hopefully he listens. I'm sure, right?
Well, seeing that we have set, I think it's
Yeah.
there's, I'm gonna see.
No, that's why I did. I know, that's why I did. Yeah, I told Robin, these aren't even their trees.
I don't know anything about the executive sessions.
Yeah. Just not my name down.
All right. 8.
No. It was like, thanks. A little much, but first thing I should grab. I can see it anyway, so. This time I at least have long sleeves for this.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I tell them, wait, I need a haircut. And well, they send their email.
Hi.
Parking lot.
Oh, it looks nice.
Police station.
What's the email? You saw it. When she said they should stop them off.
I can't
What she said the other time.
keep it a jar.
If only we had a buildings and grounds guy.
Drop the other ones off today.
Hey, Carmen, just so you know, this door is broken. It will not unlock.
I've done this with him, I don't know how many times he gets it to unlock.
Okay.
He gets it unlocked every time.
Yes.
Got the magic touch.
Maybe he has a different key.
The fun's around touch.
You guys must have done something. Put it down.
Oh, my God.
Oh my God.
No, like I can't unlock it with my key.
That's why you're the maintenance guy for buildings and grounds.
Yeah.
Kevin was out there, his wife was teacher of the few and somebody else.
Right. So we usually my key doesn't.
Okay, good evening. Welcome to the work session for the Lancaster Town Board for 9/16/2024. I believe we have one person developer presenting at this point, and we will start off. Mr. Pandolfi.
Good evening, Anthony Pandolfi with Carmina Wood Design.
Oh, Carmen. Oh,
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Like I can see it anyway, but
Anthony Pandolfi with Carmina Wood Design. Here to present a proposed storage yard at 2 Benzel Court that's owned and operated by United Rentals. That's located off of Cemetery Road. Directly to the east here is the Walden driving range. Directly south is the train tracks. They're seeking to expand to the south. This is their current operations on the north side of the property. Expand by making a stone lot area to store their storage containers when they're not being rented out. So that's really all they're looking to do. There is one variance we know for sure we will be seeking, which is the allowable height for outdoor storage in this zoning district. I believe that is 16 feet. They're hoping to be able to stack 3 containers high, which would total 30 feet. So that is one variance we will be seeking from the ZBA. But other than that, we're just looking to proceed right now with the site plan submittal.
You got anything else to show exactly where that is besides this?
Right.
Or something you can send to us?
Well, this is Cemetery Road here. Walden is right up here. So, like I said, this is the Walden driving range right there. So it's right between the driving range and Cemetery Road.
Is that, right now, is that basically where all the porta potties are stored over there in cemetery?
Right now, where they're looking to expand is just green space, wooded area right now. So that's probably thinking right up in here, yeah, where they have their existing operations.
How do you get to it? Is it because it
So-
looks like you would get to it?
You turn down Cemetery off of Walden.
Yes.
And then there's a little driveway that connects. There's another parcel here, I believe, between this one and
Okay.
Walden. And then it's a little side road off of Cemetery.
So after the bridge,
Before, it's just.
before it.
It's just off of
Oh,
Walden.
right there.
cemetery,
Oh,
so
I
it's
see
this
it.
little
Thank you.
court off of cemetery here. So Orville's is on the other side. trying to see what a tree buffer would be. I'm trying to get my, who your neighbors are, how close they are. Trying to find my.
Is that an
No, it's not.
Yeah, as far as the neighbors go, the driving range, it's just open field there. To the south is the railroad tracks.
Yeah, where's Nictor in that?
Nectar would be further down south.
So this is before the bridge if you're
It's
coming off the
before
wall.
yeah, if you make the right from Walden, it's like
Before you
right
hit
there.
the bridge,
It's,
so
yeah, it's right there.
So then it's railroad
So that's
tracks,
two
the
Ben's
driving
Hill,
range, then you
right? That's
have
the current-
over the bridge, Nictor's
So they
on the
were-
other side of the bridge.
Yeah, way south.
Yeah.
He just said that. Oh, no, that's the
Yeah,
driving.
you go, but
That's off
you
of
got
Walden.
Wetland Court there.
What is next to Two Benzel, which is off of Walden?
Do you know what that is?
Where we had the big commercial fire.
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
But both properties are zoned light industrial, so it would be something of a similar type operation, I would think.
Oh, I'm thinking more along the stacked, the variance that you're going for the stacked units.
Oh, right.
I think your use is fine, but I'm just want to see if the stacked units would inhibit anybody,
So it looks like there's a structure there already. Is it going?
Yes, this
so
is
it's
the
right there?
existing building right up in here. for
Okay, so
current
it's gonna
operation.
go
Yeah, then there's
here.
like a gravel and blacktop lot here.
Yes.
We're expanding to
further-
the south into the green
right here.
space.
Oh, okay, so it's,
Yeah.
so it's going behind all that. So,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, visually, you're not going to inhibit it.
No.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
What does the board want to do?
I mean, where that is, where I envision it, I mean, I don't see a problem with it.
Yeah, I'm just concerned about, I'd like to see a better map, just to show where everything is, personally. But again, majority of the board, what do you want to do?
I kind of agree, a better map to show the board would be great, because Missy was very helpful showing me with the green trees and the green.
Yeah, I can,
Like the Zillow thing.
if I email something to Diane, is she able to circulate it? And you
Yeah.
guys can maybe just comment via email, and
Yeah,
if
and then-
we can,
Yeah.
if that kind of expedites our process to move along with the site plan
Yeah,
application.
we'll send it to the whole board, and
Sure.
if we get the okay, we'll just let you know.
Great.
If that's acceptable? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to go around to the department heads and see what's going on in each department. Ed, why don't we start with you tonight?
Sure. Start next door. I don't know if the department's here. I don't know if we've gotten any decision on the columns. That's the only thing he's waiting on, otherwise he's done. We've got to do a walkthrough yet, but
On where?
the historic building.
Okay. Yeah.
Carmen, did you get anything else on those columns?
Yeah, we're getting them about $1,800 a month.
Okay, so, all right, so he can finalize his work. Okay, that's fine. Then we'll set up a walkthrough for that. ATURF, in conversation with them, they're modifying their proposal a little bit, so that should come back to us in a day or two.
Okay. We anticipate the contract will come back in at somewhere around $1.9 million, which is a little bit better than the estimate. But and then anything else done to the field will be, if the ball teams want to pay for it, basically. So for us to put in the turf field, and I think everybody's seen, obviously, the drawing of it. But yeah, so it's financially, it looks pretty good at this point.
When you get that final, please tag me, because then I'd like to get with Bruce and set up a meeting with the league heads so we can coordinate the dance, the installation of the field and what their uses are, and then anything that they're going to be doing, like the backstops and
Yeah.
things like that. So,
Yeah.
And the only adjustment in price from what we've been told is basically they got to buy some more stone for drainage. So that price should be pretty good. Yeah, obviously we'll talk to John about that too and make sure all the drainage, she agrees with that. So as soon as we get those plans, we'll let you know, but that's the
Yeah,
price.
we will be doing a little bit of clearing out there soon on the road side of the field. We've got to do a little bit of more clearing so we can add some survey that they need, and it had to be cleared anyway, so I had talked to Highway and Parks, they said they could do the clearing, and then get it resurveyed.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good.
Library demo is complete, so they're running. Library asked if they could get a couple extra things, and I said, well, as long as the library's paying for it, I didn't see a problem. So for a price from the contractor, they wanted some electric hand dryers and one other item, small items. I said, submit the price, and as long as the library's paying for it, that's fine. We just have to do a change order for contractual purposes.
Is that your microphone? You want to try pulling that down and see what happens? Okay.
And that's it, the Brunk and Siebert paving, we anticipate that starting first part of October.
Okay. Matt? Or
Not much to
any
report.
questions for Ed? No. Okay, Matt?
Not much to report. Happy that we're through the budget submittal process and looking forward to speaking with the committees on the proposed 2025 budget, where there's not a downtime throughout the entire day in our department. It continues to be very hectic and active, and we're experiencing some technical difficulties with our Microsoft logins and what have you, but they were resolved later on today. And I'll respond to all the complaints and inquiries that were sent forward from the supervisor's office with residents' concerns.
Great.
We get on those the next day or so. Thank you.
Thank you. John?
We doing?
Good.
Good. So as usual, we're sending brush crews, mowing, weed whack crews out on a daily basis. Our mowing crews did an amazing job on the Rue Madeline retention pond. Immediately after that pond got turned over to the town a couple weeks ago, we sent the crew in there with our remote mower and weed whackers. It took them a couple days. I sent some videos to Bob. The residents were extremely happy to see us down there. Our paving crews are working with Carmen in the building department for the past few weeks. As you can see in the pictures, we fixed up mental health, paved it up. Everyone over there seems extremely happy as well. We're going to stripe and line it next week. On a side note, next week I will be attending the Fall Highway Superintendent's Conference in Ellicottville. I want to thank the board for allowing me to go. And to touch on Resolution 22, which is the purchase of our new grappler, I spoke to Mr. Burkhardt on that. Our current grappler is about 8 years old. It goes out every single day, and the residents of the town expect to see it out every single day. It's been down a lot. We've put a lot of money into it. We found the money to help a mark within our budget, to pay for it so it doesn't have to go on bond. So I appreciate the consideration on that. Thank you.
Thank you. John Trojanowski?
We're off to a good start for this school year. We actually have a waiting list already for students who need extra tutorial assistance. Now we just have to make sure we have the tutors available that can help the students. So we're going to be working on that during the next month. We already have several students who have been referred to our mentoring program. In fact, the college intern agreement will be approved tonight, and then we can get that program up and running within the next few weeks. We are going to be offering for the first time a parent-child session on the effects of marijuana of young people. That's something we're going to start in October, and hopefully we can continue it, and we hope that we can get enough parents who are willing to bring their children for a frank discussion on the effects of marijuana. So we're doing that in October, and we hope that we can continue that on a monthly basis. Our Common Sense Parenting Program will be beginning the middle of October, and we're going to be gearing that for parents of younger children. Obviously, it's easier to change behaviors of younger children than it is of older children. So those are the things that are going on right now at the Youth Bureau.
Okay, thank you very much. Bruce?
Good evening, Honorable Town Board. Bruce Stutz, Lancaster Parks, Recreation and Forestry. We'll start off with the parks. Good news are the new playgrounds can be delivered tomorrow. So 8 o'clock, they'll be coming to 525 pavement. So we're ready to unload that. And then we'll receive further direction as far as the plan on that. A little bit slower as far as the sports teams during the week. So we've been prepping and improving the fields as far as the soccer field, baseball fields, a little more downtime. So the crews are doing good, fixing those up. We got the boulders at Westwood Park that we talked about, Bob.
Great.
It does look good. It took a little while. I apologize for the delay, but we got them up and it did. I looked at it on Saturday and it looks definitely did.
Keep the people off the grass.
Correct. So we topsoil and we put the boulders there. I think it looks a lot better. On the recreation side, we're opening up our second session of the swim, William Street, and also within 2 weeks we'll be opening up basketball and volleyball, so for our fall programs. Forestry side, we finished our tree surveys for the upcoming, for the fall. We're going to be placing an order for approximately 85 to 90 trees for the fall planting, and that is scheduled for early November on the fall planting. So still, crew's doing a great job with stumps. Like we probably mentioned last board meeting, it was maybe a couple per week, couple per month. We're doing approximately 25 per week. So we're trying to keep that pace up, working through a backlog and then preparing for the planting with a lot of those stumps that are out there. So any questions or? Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, yep.
Chief? Evening.
I'll echo what Matt said a little earlier. Just finalized and sent to Nick my first budget draft for 2025. Looks like it's going to be a pretty good budget for you all to review. Nick has been wonderful to work with. He's been very good about helping us make sure that we are appropriating the right amount of funds in each line and making sure the lines are set to where they need to be with the funds going to the right account. Other than that, I really don't have any other report tonight.
Okay. Thank you very much. Nick? Since he mentioned your name.
Good evening. How's everybody doing? Nick Swanson, Director of Administration and Finance. Updates from the last board meeting. The week of the last board meeting, I spent the majority of the time holding different budget meetings with the various departments. Everybody's been very open to work with, easy to work with, open to discussing new ideas and reviewing things and making sure things don't get lost in the hundreds and hundreds of accounts that we have. This past week, I spent the majority of my time closing down the books for August. Hopefully that you guys find the financial reports that I've been sending out helpful. If there's any thing I can do to make them more helpful, please let me know. If you ever want to discuss them, figure out what's going on, where everything's at, just let me know. But other than that, September 20th, everybody who hasn't submitted their budget stuff to me will have to. And then September 30th, it'll be down to Diane. I think the 2nd, October 2nd, will be the special meeting.
Yeah, we have to accept it within 5 days. The next town board meeting is not within that time period, so we're set up a special meeting for the 2nd.
Yep. And other than that, we just keep rolling with the punches.
Great. Thank you.
Nick, I have a question. Can you give the monthly budget report for my department too? Or?
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. I'll send that out tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you.
Carmen?
Melissa, Cameron did call me back today on the library. He's actually was off Friday. Today, he'll be back tomorrow. He's in the Enderodics. Plumbing, they extended, he said. They extended it and updated it.
Okay.
Drywall they're doing this week. Floors in stock, if it's what we picked in the book. Cabinets will be ready for approval this week for our approval. And the new construction has started on that.
Perfect. Thank you.
We auctioned 3 cop cars off, got over 30 grand for them. Highway roof, John, you'll be happy, they're starting tomorrow, 8 o'clock. They're gonna tear off all the old seams and put new seams under warranty because they did not hold up, and John's been using an umbrella in his office, so that will...
I'm hoping my office can get
So that will be done as soon as they're done. Lights will be in this week. Highway did an awesome job at mental health. They're really happy. Told me over there, they're thankful and everything. They're going to be starting dog control this week. They're going to put some concrete in the front. And Ed, did we ever figure out, I know you said that they're going to fix some gutters at...
Yeah, well, he was kind of waiting to coordinate with that's what he was waiting to find out about the column, so, yeah,
Okay.
got to button that up, and then we can do a walkthrough.
All right. And then we're just moving furniture, and tomorrow I'm taking around heating and cooling to see about getting away from the monitoring company and us doing it ourselves, so we don't have to pay for them to really not do much that we can do. So, any questions? And the only one comment I want to make on Resolution 17 for that new hire for dog control. I worked with Megan in the Parks and Rec, awesome employee. Great, this goes over and beyond when she was working with me. So.
Thank you. Okay. We got about 10 minutes left. I just want to talk about NYSEG for a few minutes here. I've heard a lot of complaints from the residents about how the new policy with the smart meter has been implemented. Excuse me. I could talk for myself. I never got the card about the smart meter. Apparently they sent what they call a blast call, but again, it's not a 716 number. I didn't listen to it. I found it actually today. They came Saturday, they did my neighborhood, they put up smart meters. People who were lucky enough to be home, who didn't want it, 3 or 4 people said, no, I don't want it. I happened to return from a baseball game. As the gentleman was still there installing, I said I didn't want it, asked them to remove it, they wouldn't remove it. So again, I made my thoughts known to NYSEG and the contractor that I wanted that taken off of there, and hopefully it's going to be taken off of there. But we are getting lots of complaints that people who thought they had opted out, they still put it up there. People didn't know that they had the opportunity to opt out. Okay, what you do, you don't want it. You don't want it. You may have to pay a fee to get it removed at this point, and a monthly fee, but I'm going to do that anyways. I met with NYSEG today. It was their annual for the elected officials, so I just want to bring up some of the things that we talked about, okay? And the higher bills, their claim, are not because of the smart meters. Now, this has been on all the local stations, been in the news. What they did tell me was that there were increases in prices, delivery charges, 2023, 6.6%, 2024, 7.2%. We're going to get hit with 8.2 in 2025. And overall, I believe the group that basically looks at them and allows them to raise their cost has approved up to 60-something%. So your bills are going to be going up significantly, okay? It's for the delivery charge. When you look at your bill, it's broken up into a couple different areas. And the delivery charge on mine, I took a look at it for August, which was very high, was higher than the actual amount of gas that was used.
Electric.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Electric.
Oh, I'm sorry, electric. Is this town one? No, I'm kidding. Then the electric that was used, okay, and then it was broken up into different sections. Then they talked about their reliability challenges that they have throughout the NYSEG system, and it's not in great shape. They're making a lot of changes to the system. They're replacing poles all over the place. Because of development in Lancaster, they had to put some new equipment into Cemetery Road to deal with it. And basically, so, you're going to be paying for this, okay? You're going to be paying for this for the next couple of years. It's a 3-year program. Expect your bills to be going up significantly. Okay, specific to these smart meters, what I was told, I invited somebody from NYSEG to the Rotary Club where he explained to us that people would be properly notified. Then you'd have the option to opt out if you wanted to, before anybody showed up to put anything in. Well, apparently that hasn't been happening. So I am calling upon the residents in the town of Lancaster to let us know if they've had issues with this, because we want to make sure anybody who didn't want it can get rid of it. We did find out, and I already knew this because of, the meeting at the Rotary Club, that they do have the ability to shut your power off or start your power up remotely, okay? So again, to some people, that's concerning. When you couple that with the fact that they don't have reliable equipment at this point, could there be a brownout sometime in the future? I don't know. Could be. Can't say there wouldn't be. So who are they going to cut off first? People that can step into the next room, throw the switch on? I don't know. At least my house, when it gets changed back, they're going to have to come out there to turn it off. Okay, so why are they making all these changes? They also talked about that, and not all the changes are because of that, but basically, New York State in 2019 passed a law where they want to make everything electric, okay? And that's just costing a heck of a lot of money. So they got to go throughout, they got to upgrade all their equipment, and basically they're trying to get by 2025, they have everything at 70% electric, as opposed to, gas and electric. So they're trying to switch everything over. And then by 2040, they want 100% renewable, power coming in there. So they're going to change everything out by that point. So a great deal of this cost is basically coming from having to switch everything over. And again, I asked for some specifics to be given at the town board. First off, I want to know where is our area of a problem so that we can make decisions. Again, when you're looking at, bringing in additional development, it is a problem. Okay, because in some areas, it's going to take 2 or 3 years for them to upgrade that area to where they could handle the development. So it's something that we need to know about. It was very informative. And I'm going to try to get other information as best I can to make available to the residents, to the town board, as to what's going on. But again, we'll see. I want to see what the truth is, how many people have had problems versus, we're just hearing stuff. It is on Facebook. I know, if anybody else wants to chime in here from the board or Diane, experiences where, again, the people weren't notified. They just showed up and threw on the smart meter. So again, that's not the way it should have been done. So we want to make sure people who don't want it don't have to have it. So we're following up on that.
Yeah, I never got any card or notification. I just came home one day and they had a note saying it was changed. I do have a question, if you could find out. Will your bill be any different other than the added $13 a month for not changing it out? I mean, will the delivery costs and everything else be the same, whether you have the new meter or not?
I will find out. Okay. And again, as we're going through this today, they give us some statistics about their contact satisfaction, and unfortunately, it's going down, down, down by all accounts. So a lot of people are calling and they're not happy. The CEO from the company is asking people to call the company, NYSEG, individually, again, so they don't have to deal with a bunch of people at one time, I would guess, but they say that they want to talk to you individually to find out what's going on at your house to see why everything went up. So I'd prefer to get an overall, anybody?
Yeah, so online too, because I have an online account, they want to, they've asked me a lot of personal information about things that I use in my home so that they can assess my count, what type of home I have. It's residential or commercial, yes, and mixed use. How many pieces of equipment, how many coffee makers, they want to assess my electric, so they want to delve deep into every piece of electrical equipment that I own. I take exception to that.
Even on the phone, they want to know all of that as well. And their response was to unplug everything. Because even if it's left plugged in, like your television, they said just unplug it. If it's left in, it's going to use some electricity. So I don't think that's feasible to have somebody go around their house and unplug every single thing that it's connected to, an outlet. I think that I had the same experience, that I wasn't notified. I had mine put on probably back in May or June, but I was not aware that you could refuse it. The person just showed up, installed it, and then, next month my bill went up. It doubled. So, and that,
Well, I haven't had a smart meter put in because luckily when the gentleman showed up to install it, he stopped at the counter and said he'd turn off my electric for 5 minutes, and I had equipment running for customers' jobs, and I said, no, you cannot. So I put a sign on my meter denying the installation that I opted out. However, according to NYSEG, and what I can't understand, is that the month of July, my electrical usage went up 800%. How does that happen? I live with an electrician. All of our lights are LED. All of my equipment at AdWorks sleeps when it's not running.
I'm going to interrupt you at this point. We will carry this over into the regular town board meeting.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, we're going to begin the regular town board meeting here in the town of Lancaster for September 16th, 2024. Diane, roll call, please.
Councilmember Burkhart.
Here.
Councilmember Dickman.
Here.
Councilmember Schroeder.
Here.
Councilmember Studley.
Here.
Supervisor Leary.
Here. The invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance tonight will be done by Councilmember Studley. Please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing.
Heavenly Father, as we gather today, we ask for your spirit of unity to be present among us. Help us to put aside any personal agendas or differences and work together in harmony towards our common goal. In your holy name. Amen.
Amen. Okay, tonight's meeting, we have 24 pre-filed resolutions. We have we have an executive session, 3 different topics, which are contract, personnel, and litigation. We're closing in memory of Gerald Dush. No public hearings tonight. What I'm going to do is, I think we should probably continue on with the discussion about NYSEG, and then we'll get into the pre-filed resolutions. Anybody have a problem with that? No. Okay. All right. Anything else you want to add in here?
Yeah, so as I was saying, on my account, it shows that my electric usage increased by 800% in the month of July, which I find odd because I have no new equipment. There's nothing that's faulty. I've looked around the entire house, and all of a sudden now my bill is outrageous. So I don't think that the outrageous bills have to do with the smart meter itself. I think there's something going on at NYSEG. They're adjusting something, but I do not have a smart meter, and I have an increase of 800%.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things going on that people could tell you these different stories, so I think we got to get to the bottom of it as a town and let NYSEG know what we think about it. The program I was talking about before in the state is the Climate Leadership and Community Protection Act, renewable integration program created to meet the state's climate targets. It's 70% state energy from renewable resources by 2030, 100% from zero emission electric sources by 2040. So again, nobody's prepared to do that. For them to try to get ready to do that, they are charging us, an arm and a leg to meet New York State's mandate. So that seems to be the biggest problem of this. Obviously, there's going to be normal repair of lines, of poles, of everything else. But again, it seems that they have to make a lot of changes in here to meet what New York State is mandating. So again, I'd like to hear from the residents. My email is rleary@lancasterny.gov. Send me your stories. We might talk about it before the next town board meeting during the work session, see if people want to come in and talk about it. and make a determination how many people this has affected in the town of Lancaster. And then again, if the board decides, we'll let them know via resolution, of what we think about what's been going on, and have that delivered to NYSEG and our state representatives. Okay? All right. Anything else on this one?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, at this point in time, we're going to have persons who want to address the town board on any pre-filed or suspended resolution. We don't have any suspended resolutions. So the town board will hear the concerns of persons desiring to address the town board on any pre-filed or proposed suspended resolutions for a total period of 30 minutes. Okay, please raise his or her hand and be recognized by the supervisor. Give his or her name and address to the town clerk. Speak directly to the town board members, not the audience, using the microphone provided. Speak once for 5 minutes or less, unless the town board grants the speaker an extension of this time limit. Is there anybody in here who wants to address the town board at this time on any of the pre-filed resolutions? Yep, come on up.
Hi, everyone. My name is Greg Pepe, and my daughter is Amanda Pepe. She has respectfully applied for a waiver for a sidewalk on William Street. She's been a resident of Lancaster for over 24 years. She's educated in Lancaster. She is a Lancaster teacher, and she's almost a Lancaster tenured teacher. So she really respects the community thought process and the concept of keeping the community very, very safe, and so do I. I've been a resident here 20 years. So the reason she's asked for this waiver is because, honestly, twofold. Number one, there's no sidewalk from Transit to Schwartz, except in front of Rite Aid. No homes have it, and honestly, it would probably be a hazard if you did put one sidewalk in there and no one else had one. That's number one. Number two, we're fully comfortable in complying if in the future there are other sidewalks required. No question, okay? And number three, we've been notified by the Erie County Department of Public Works that there's going to be a large, potential improvement project going on in the area, which could, waste all the money that she spends on a sidewalk. So she's building a small little bungalow on William Street. Currently, it was an abandoned lot. We bought it, so it's going to make the area nicer, and it's going to update the homes in the area dramatically. So that's why we were asking for the waiver.
Okay, did you look at the plans that the county has for the street?
No, I can't. I haven't been able to get anybody to share them with me because I don't think their final decisions are made. So it does have, the lot does have the pipe in there for the drainage. We got the street permit and everything else. It's just the waiver for the sidewalk that we don't have.
Okay, last time I saw it, part of it was going to be sidewalks, part of it wasn't going to be sidewalks.
So there's sidewalks on the north side of the street, but on the south side of the street, there's no sidewalks.
Okay.
So
But in the plan, is that, do you know if that's staying the same? I don't recall. Right.
Yeah, the county wouldn't share with me the exact plans. And for that reason, I put the house 20 feet farther back. I'm sorry, I'm not used to a microphone. We put the house 20 feet farther back because I wasn't sure whether you were going to do, or not you, but the county was going to do a turning lane or whatever they're going to do. And we just didn't want to spend the money on the sidewalk now to have it destroyed. And it'll be the only sidewalk for a 3 or 4 mile stretch of land. There's really nothing there.
Okay, any other questions?
Bob, I would say the plans, if you go to the DPW's website, they should have the plans on there or a link to where the plans are, the most current plans at least.
Well, I contacted the clearance office, and he expressed to me that the plans were not finalized, but he thought there would be a lot of work there. I asked him specifics about the work, and he wouldn't share. So I'm happy to look.
Yeah, the last I knew, we talked to the county, the plans that were online were the most recent, and they're dealing with DOT right now.
Okay, so, obviously it's going to take a while for that to happen, and they're most likely going to destroy whatever we put there. And I don't think we'll be done, given our upcoming winter. I don't think we're going to be done at least until sometime late summer next year.
Okay, and you do understand if they build up to the house next to you, okay?
Yeah.
Then you're gonna probably be asked to put a sidewalk in there, and then you're gonna have to pay for it at that time.
It doesn't-
Just so you know.
I would put it there now if I thought that it would help other sidewalks. That's why we moved to Lancaster in the first place.
Okay.
And, you know, she's a teacher. She wouldn't mind having a sidewalk for kids and everything else too.
Great.
I just think now, it wouldn't make a lot of sense if it's going to get destroyed.
Okay.
So
Mr. Pepe, your address?
I'm at 26 Claremont Court,
Thank you.
Lancaster, and her address is 5111 William Street.
Thank you.
And she's amazing at talking to children, but she does work talking to people.
I do
so.
see firsthand the uneven ground, like kids running from grass to concrete to grass. Oh my gosh, it is a recipe for disaster. Being on such a busy street, children, let alone people, could trip on the sidewalk. Or I don't want to see that happen in just a few panels. Panels, grass, for nothing for 5 miles.
Are there other sidewalks out there?
Nothing
around
on
here?
the south side of the street, which is where she's
Nothing.
building.
So
Everything's on the north side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even the homes down the street, which are relatively new, don't have sidewalks, which are east of where she's building. So the only thing that has a sidewalk is Rite Aid on Transit.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, does anybody else want to address the town board on any of the pre-filed resolutions? Please raise your hand. Okay, I don't see any other hands raised at this point, so we're going to continue on. We have no public hearings tonight. Do any of the town board members have any official reports?
I was just going to mention, Carmen actually mentioned the update on the library earlier. Thank you so much. But the library, as I've said before, they offer so many different things for the community. There's a whole lot. Feel free to come up if you're here, if you want to see what they have coming up soon. Otherwise, you can take a look online and see what's available. Great resource in our backyard. I did have a question.
Sure.
It's not necessarily an official report, but I was wondering, I know we mentioned it at the last meeting about having either I'm going to get this verbiage wrong, a public hearing or a public, just a meeting about the referendum, allowing the residents to come out and ask any questions that they have. I just, with the whole board present, wasn't sure, like, do we have a preference? Do we want to do one or the other? Do we think it's necessary?
An informative meeting, I think, is great. Again, we also don't want to be seen as trying to influence it one way or the other.
Right.
Just state the facts as to what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't think if we just do it as a regular, if we do it as a public meeting, then we got to send out the notices and everything. If we do it, correct me if I'm wrong here.
We can do it outside of a town board meeting, and just as long as I send notice to the Bee and to the news and put it on the website.
Is there an issue, like for a quorum, if we're all here for it?
That will be fine, everybody can
Okay.
come.
Okay.
But if,
Because that would be a
It would
public
have to
meeting.
be
then, right?
advertised
Right,
properly,
right.
or
Be like
else you're
a-
only going to get 2 people kind of thing.
yeah, it'll be like an open house
Yeah.
kind of thing. But if you want a public hearing, then we need a resolution to set the public hearing and so on. But to have a referendum open house, to give the residents information.
Yeah.
You pick the date and the time, and I'll send it out.
What do you want to do? Like, we could do 6:15 or something before the next town board meeting?
Yeah.
Oh, no, are the drainage meetings over with yet, or no?
Not yet.
No, okay.
We could do it 6:15 before the second one in October.
The second one, close to voting time?
Yeah,
Okay. I have no,
or
Only
6.
gives a half hour.
That's true, in case people have questions.
good point. I was thinking before that,
5:30?
5:30, 6 o'clock, before
5:30?
5:30?
5:30?
Drainage, the next one, is that what you're saying?
No.
Not the next one, the
Well,
one
we
after
don't have a
that.
whole lot of information to disseminate about it to begin with.
Just if
It's
people have
just-
questions.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's going to be instructions for them to
Yeah.
decide what they want. We have $7.5 million that we're going to bond for, and they're going to get the opportunity to vote on it however they feel, if they
Yeah.
want there to be a park or not. We haven't identified the park, space at this point. but we are going to. We got some places in mind, but first we got to get it okayed that the town wants to proceed with that.
Right.
Okay?
Second town board, before the second town board meeting in October at 5:30.
Is everybody good with that? Okay. Okay, thank you. Any other reports or committee reports? Official reports or committee reports? I don't see any hands or any conversation here, so we're going to proceed with the pre-filed resolutions. Okay, resolution number 1 is mine. Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of the town board held September 3rd, 2024 be and are hereby affirmed. Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Did the board get the updated amount of money that was spent? Everybody get it? Okay. Resolution number 2, be resolved that the following audited claims be and are hereby ordered paid from their respective accounts as per abstract to be filed in the office of the town clerk by the supervisor's office, to wit, check run number 0916-2024, total amount hereby authorized to be paid, $1,143,501.17. Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Councilmember Dickman, number 3, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Honorable Board, I offer Resolution 3 for adoption. Resolved that the following building permit applications be and are hereby reaffirmed. We have a total of 41, 29 in the town, 12 in the village. Now therefore be it resolved that the building permit applications coded CSW for conditional sidewalk waiver be and are hereby reaffirmed with a waiver of the town ordinance required for sidewalks. However, the waiver is granted upon the express condition that the town of Lancaster at any future date reserves the right to order sidewalk installation at the expense of the property owner.
Do we have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Resolution number 4, whereas the town of Lancaster intends to apply for federal community development funds, known as Community Development Block Grant Funds, for the year 2024-2025, and must identify eligible projects which would benefit low to moderate income persons within the town, and whereas the town board of the town of Lancaster deems it in the public interest to hold a public hearing to provide an opportunity for citizens to express community development and housing needs, and to discuss proposals to meet those needs, to assist the town board in the development of the town's application for community development block grant funds. Now, therefore, be it resolved that a public hearing to provide an opportunity for citizens to express community development and housing needs, and to discuss possible projects which would benefit low and moderate income persons in the town of Lancaster will be held at the Town Hall, 21 Central Avenue, Lancaster, New York, on the 7th day of October, 2024, at 7:05 p.m. local time, and the notice of the time and place of such hearing be published in the Lancaster Bee, a local newspaper of general circulation in said town, and be on the town bulletin board, which notice shall be in form attached hereto and made a part thereof. Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question? And I just want to say, the village pretty much does their own thing with the community development block grant funds. They can do, the 2 villages can do put in for what they want to. We have 2 major areas now, one that was just designated, but it's generally going to be for the senior center. It's one of 2 places in the town of Lancaster that is designated to receive funds for this. The other one is off of Erie Avenue. That's a new one. We may try to do something for that in the future to get reimbursed for some of the water line work that's being done there. But just so you know. Anybody else? On the roll.
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Councilmember Studley, number 5, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor and Honorable Board. I offer resolution number 5 for adoption. Whereas by letter received August 22nd, 2024, the property owner of 5111 William Street has requested that the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster waive the requirement for the installation of sidewalks as stated in Section 310-12B1 of the Town Code, and whereas by email correspondence on August 22nd, 2024, Councilmember Melissa Studley has recommended approval of this request in order to maintain consistency with the existing rural character of the area. And whereas, after reviewing the request and considering the opinion of Councilmember Studley, the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster has determined this to be a reasonable request. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby exercises its rights as stated in the Town Code of the Town of Lancaster and grants a waiver of the requirement for the installation of sidewalks along the street frontage for a lot located at 5111 William Street, SBL number 115.20-4-47.11, within the Town of Lancaster and is conditioned as follows. This waiver is granted upon the express condition effective that at any future date, the Town of Lancaster reserves the right to order sidewalk installation at the sole expense of the property owner.
Do we have a second?
Second.
On the question, and I'm just going to state, normally I do not vote for these waivers, but because William Street is up in the air right now as to whether there's going to be a sidewalk in that area or not, and the people understand that, you know, if the sidewalk ends shortly before them, we're probably going to want them to add that in there as well, but it's just up in the air at this point, so go ahead with the roll.
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Okay. Resolution number 6, your waiver request has passed. Okay, resolution number 6, whereas the town board is considering the Eastport 2 lot minor subdivision preliminary plot submitted by Kevin Kirk, Uniland Development, on a 119.598 acre parcel located at 4106 Walden Avenue, SBL number 94.00-4-7.1, in the town of Lancaster, being split into one 10.017 acre parcel north of Eastport Drive to be sold for a future industrial development, and two 109.581 acre parcel to remain as Eastport. And whereas the town of Lancaster Planning Board has reviewed the environmental impact of this project pursuant to seeker regulations at their meeting on September 4th, 2024, and recommended a negative declaration to be issued. And whereas the town board has duly considered the plans for the project using the short environmental assessment form, the criteria for determining significance set forth in 6 New York CRR, Section 617.7C of the State Environmental Quality Review Act, regulations, and such other information deemed appropriate, including the recommendation of the Town of Lancaster Planning Board, and whereas the Town Board has identified the relevant areas of environmental concern, has taken a hard look at these areas, and has made a reasoned elaboration of the basis for its determination, and whereas the proposed action has been labeled an unlisted action under seeker, now therefore be it resolved by the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster that 1, this project is described as the Eastport 2 lot minor subdivision preliminary plot, as indicated above, with one 10.017 acre parcel north of Eastport Drive to be sold for a future industrial development, and two 109.581 acre parcel to remain as Eastport, will not result in any large and important environmental impacts, and therefore will not have a significant adverse impact on the environment. 2, the reasons supporting this determination are set forth on the attached notice of a determination of non-significance with respect to this project. 3, the town board as lead agency with reference to the above described action hereby adopts the attached negative declaration of environmental significance. 4, the town clerk should file a copy of the negative declaration in the file for the project. 5, the town attorney's office shall prepare and file a notice of determination with the petitioner and with all required New York State and Erie County agencies, filing a copy of the letter of transmittal. 6, this resolution is effective immediately. Do we have a second?
Second.
On the question, on the roll.
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Okay. Resolution number 7, whereas the town board is considering the proposed new stone areas for the construction of a 56-foot by 32-foot pergola, 13 new parking spaces, and 2 shipping containers to be used for office storage submitted by Herb Schwab Brazen Brewery on a 2.105 acre parcel located at 5839 Genesee Street, SBL number 94.00-2-11.2 in the town of Lancaster. And whereas the town of Lancaster Planning Board has reviewed the environmental impact of this project pursuant to seeker regulations at their meeting on September 4th, 2024, and recommended a negative declaration be issued. And whereas the town board has duly considered the plans for the project using the short environmental assessment form, the criteria for determining significance set forth in 6 New York CRR Section 617.7C of the State Environmental Quality Review Act regulations, and such other information deemed appropriate, including the recommendation of the Town of Lancaster Planning Board. And whereas the town board has identified the relevant areas of environmental concern, has taken a hard look at these areas, and has made a reasoned elaboration of the basis for its determination. And whereas the proposed action has been labeled an unlisted action under seeker, now, now therefore be it resolved by the town board of the town of Lancaster that 1, this project is described as the proposed new stone areas for this construction of a 56-foot by 32-foot pergola, 13 new parking spaces, and 2 shipping containers located at 5839 Genesee Street will not result in any large and important environmental impacts, and therefore will not have a significant adverse impact on the environment. 2, the reasons supporting this determination are set forth on the attached notice of determination of non-significance with respect to this project. 3, the town board as lead agency with reference to the above described action hereby adopts the attached negative declaration of environmental significance. 4, the town clerk shall file a copy of the negative declaration in the file for the project. 5, the town attorney's office shall prepare and file a notice of determination with the petitioner and with all required New York State and Erie County agencies, filing a copy of the letter of transmittal. 6, this resolution is effective immediately. Do we have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Resolution number 8, whereas by email approval dated September 6, 2024, Director of Administration and Finance Nicholas Swanson has approved the request from Mary Beth Gianni, Recreation Supervisor for the Town of Lancaster Senior Center, for the recommended adjustments to the town's 2024 adopted budget. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the following budget amendments be and are hereby approved in the 2024 adopted budget of the Town of Lancaster. And basically, it's going to be a transfer from professional services to office furniture and equipment for $1,500. Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Resolution number 9, whereas E&R General Contracting Incorporated, located at 38th Street, Davids Drive, West Seneca, New York, the company awarded the contract for the Erie Street Water Main Replacement Project, contract TLN-15, has submitted change order number 1 to decrease the amount by $192,474.74 to the town board for their approval based on the description previously provided to the town board. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the town board of the town of Lancaster hereby approves change order number 1 from E&R General Contracting Incorporated with respect to the outline description provided to the town board. Description of change order number 1, the original contract amount was based on an estimated quantity for each bid item. This is the adjustment to reflect the actual quantity completed for each bid item. Change order number 1, the original contract sum was $793,875. Contract sum decreased $192,474.74. The new contract sum is $601,400.26. Be it further resolved that the supervisor be and is hereby authorized to execute this change order on behalf of the town of Lancaster. Do we have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Councilmember Schroeder, Resolution 10, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I move resolution number 10. Whereas Damon College Division of Health and Human Services, Department of Social Work and Sociology desires to have an affiliation with the town of Lancaster for the purpose of allowing college interns from the social work program to participate in a field education program through the town of Lancaster Youth Bureau. And whereas the town desires to assist students in pursuing this course of study by renewing the memorandum of agreement with Damon College to allow continued involvement of college interns from the social work program to participate in the field education program within the Lancaster community under the guidance of the town's Youth Bureau Executive Director, John Trojanowski, and Program Coordinator, Nicole Gunsher. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby authorizes the Town Supervisor, Robert Leary, Youth Bureau Executive Director, John Trojanowski, and Program Coordinator, Nicole Gunsher, to execute the annual memorandum of agreement with Damon College, Division of Health and Human Services, Department of Social Work and Sociology, Bachelor of Arts in Social Work program, which will allow college interns to participate in a field education program under the supervision of the program coordinator within the town's Youth Bureau during the 2024-2025 school year.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Resolution number 11, Councilmember Burkhart, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor and Honorable Board. I'm offering Resolution 11 for adoption. Whereas David Capretto, 470 Cayuga Road, Chickawaga, New York, has applied to the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster for a permit for public improvements upon real property in the Town of Lancaster within Field Stream subdivision. And whereas the Town Engineer of the Town of Lancaster has certified on the following permit application that he has reviewed the improvement plans and permit application for the installation of the public improvements requested and that they conform to the ordinances of the Town of Lancaster. Now therefore be it resolved, the public improvement permit application number 860 for Field Stream subdivision, Lancaster, which is a permit for public improvements for 40-unit subdivision off William Street, includes the installation of 53,064 square feet paving and 3,700 linear foot of curb, 3,157 linear feet sanitary sewer lines, 1,950 linear feet water line sidewalk, 3 bioretention basins, and 8 streetlights.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
On the question, just so you know, I am going to vote against this because we had previous resolutions, and in my opinion, we went against the town code, and this shouldn't be at this position at this point in time.
I'm in agreement, sir. I'll be voting no also.
Okay. On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
No.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
No. Okay, Councilmember Dickman, number 12, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I offer number 12 for adoption. Whereas Town Line Volunteer Fire Department by email received September 4th, 2024 has requested the deletion of 2 members from their active roster of the said fire association. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby deletes the membership of the Town Line Volunteer Fire Department, the following individuals, and they are Lauren Brown and Paige Coffin.
Do we have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Resolution number 13. Whereas Kevin Kirk, Uniland Development Company, submitted an application for the proposed minor subdivision preliminary plot on a 119.598 acre parcel located at 4106 Walden Avenue in SBL number 94.00-4-7.1 in the town of Lancaster, in which 2 lots will be created to measure one 10.017 acres and the second one 109.581 acres. Parcel to remain at Eastport Middle, contained a survey submittal contained a survey as prepared by True North Land Surveying, PLLC, dated July 2024, received July 19, 2024 by the Town of Lancaster Building Department, and an aerial view of Eastport highlighting the 10-acre site location with parcel legal description. And whereas the town, acting as lead agency, duly considered the request for the project, including the recommendation of the Town of Lancaster Planning Board in conformance with seeker State Environmental Quality Review regulations, and on September 16, 2024, the Town Board issued a negative declaration. And whereas the Planning Board held a public hearing, which was advertised in the Lancaster Bee on August 22nd, 2024, and the public hearing was held on September 4th, 2024, and whereas the Planning Board recommended to the Town Board on September 4th, 2024, the approval of the Eastport 2-lot minor subdivision preliminary plat plan as submitted and in conformance with town building and zoning codes. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby approves the Eastport 2-lot minor subdivision preliminary plat plan submitted by Kevin Kirk, Uniland Development, via survey prepared by True North Land Surveying, dated July of 2024, an aerial photo map and a parcel legal description. Do we have a second?
Second.
On the question, and I have a question. Again, I thought we weren't going to be doing seekers and approvals on these in the same board meeting. So in the future, I mean, does the board agree to that? We should give people more time in between to make a decision. Is there some reason that we're getting them both?
I think that was what we had talked about before, that we could do them in the same meeting as long as they were coming back for approval on the same night.
Okay. I think we're
So
going to have
if
to talk
we-
about that a little
okay, we
bit.
can change that.
Little bit, well, it depends what the board wants to do in the future. But I think it's best, because when we talk about the seeker stuff, sometimes people come back in and we get more information. So sometimes it's better to drag it out to the next meeting. But on the roll.
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Resolution number 14, whereas on January 2nd, 2024, at the organizational meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster, a resolution allocating amount not to exceed $350 for the proper observance of Memorial Day and Independence Day to the Depew Post-American Legion was duly approved. And whereas upon auditing of the required itemized voucher submitted by the Depew Post-American Legion, it was noticed that the amount expended by the Depew Post-American Legion surpassed the amount allocated by the Town of Lancaster by $103.98. And whereas the Town Board recognizes the importance of the Depew Post-American Legion to the community, has decided to increase the allocated amount to include the over expenditure of funds for the 2024 calendar year in the amount of $103.98. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the resolution adopted January 2nd, 2024, allocating funds for the proper observance of Memorial Day and Independence Day to the Depew Post-American Legion is hereby amended to increase the allocated funding for this VFW Post-American Legion post
Yes.
from $350 to $453.98 for the 2024 calendar year. And be it further resolved that this resolution takes effect retroactively to January 2nd, 2024, and the Finance Director is authorized to take whatever action is necessary to implement the foregoing. And before we conclude this, is it the American Legion or is it the VFW?
Depew Post.
It's the Depew Post. Okay, very good. Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll.
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Resolution number 15, whereas on January 2nd, 2024, at the organizational meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster, a resolution listing the titles of various non-union represented town employees was duly approved, and whereas due to the hiring of new personnel staff, the town needs to adjust the title of the Games of Chance Auditor from account clerk part-time to clerk part-time to avoid exceeding the quantity of approved part-time positions in its inventory. Now therefore be it resolved that the resolution adopted January 2nd, 2024, listing the titles of various non-union representatives, town employees be and is hereby amended to read as follows: to be paid bi-weekly, bingo games of chance, clerk part-time, games of chance, auditor, and be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect retroactively to August 12, 2024, and the supervisor is authorized to take whatever action is necessary to implement the foregoing. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. On the question, basically, the games of chance auditor was not really an account clerk. We're changing that to clerk part-time. We do have an account clerk in the supervisor's office. You're given so many positions in your inventory. If you want to increase that, you got to go through a rather rigorous process with the county, and the account clerk in my office is actually an account clerk, so that's why it's being changed. On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Resolution number 16, whereas a vacancy exists in the town of Lancaster's Control of Dogs Department for a full-time assistant dog control officer due to the resignation of Elizabeth Bertozzi on June 1st, 2023, and whereas by letter dated August 30th, 2024, Michael Greco, town of Lancaster dog control officer, has recommended the appointment of Jessica Pick to the position of full-time assistant dog control officer to fill the vacancy existing within the town's Control of Dogs Department. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Jessica Pick is hereby appointed to the full-time permanent position of Assistant Dog Control Officer in the Town of Lancaster's Control of Dogs Department effective October 3rd, 2024, at an annual hourly rate of $21.85, contingent upon the approval by the Erie County Department of Personnel, and that such appointment shall be subject to all applicable provisions of law and shall be governed by the same terms and conditions as those applied to other non-represented full-time town employees. Be it further resolved that the supervisor of the town of Lancaster shall be authorized to take all necessary action to implement the foregoing. Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question, on the roll.
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes, and Jessica is with us. Stand up, please. Congratulations. Okay, resolution number 17. Whereas a vacancy exists in the town of Lancaster's Control of Dogs Department for a part-time assistant dog control officer, and whereas by letter dated August 30th, 2024, Michael Greco, the town of Lancaster's dog control officer, has recommended the appointment of the following individual to the position of part-time permanent assistant dog control officer to fill said vacancy within that department. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the following individual is hereby appointed to the part-time permanent position of assistant dog control officer within the town of Lancaster Dog Control Department, working not more than 19 3/4 hours per week, and that this being a part-time position provides no health insurance, sick days, vacations, or other fringe benefits not specifically mandated for part-time employees. Name of the new person is Megan Powell of Lancaster, New York. She'll start at an hourly rate of $21.85 effective October 3rd. Be it further resolved that the supervisor of the town of Lancaster shall be authorized to take all necessary action to implement the foregoing. Do I have a second?
Second.
Oh, who won that?
Unanimous.
Oh, okay. On the question, let me tell you, for dog control, they had a hard time filling these positions. There is money still in the budget that will pay for one person to go to a full-time assistant and have another part-timer in there. So there's money in the budget already for this, just so you know. On the roll.
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes, and Megan, who's been endorsed personally by Carmen, is with us as well. So Megan, if you could stand up, please. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Keep up the good work. Okay. Resolution number 18, Councilmember Schroeder.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I move resolution number 18, Whereas Bruce Stutz, Parks Crew Chief for the Town of Lancaster, by letter dated September 9th, 2024, has recommended the appointment of the following individuals to the following part-time permanent positions as in the Parks, Recreation, and Forestry Department. Now therefore be it resolved that the following individuals are hereby appointed to the following part-time permanent positions in the Town of Lancaster Parks, Recreation, and Forestry Department, working not more than 19 3/4 hours per week, and that these being part-time positions provide no health insurance, sick days, vacations, or other fringe benefits not specifically mandated for part-time employees. We have John Cook as a laborer at $18 an hour, William Shillelagh as a laborer at $18 an hour, Brendan Mahoney as a laborer at $16.50, and Connor Downhauser as a laborer at $16. Be it further resolved that the supervisor of the Town of Lancaster shall be authorized to take all necessary action to implement the foregoing.
We have a second. On the question?
Oh.
Did you say it?
Second.
Okay. It's getting ahead of you there. On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
I'm recusing myself.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes.
I need a reason.
Half sibling.
Okay, a relative.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, and I'm sorry, Councilmember Schroeder, I forgot, you also have 19.
Yep, that's okay.
Thank
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I move Resolution 19. Whereas the Lancaster High School Symphonic Band has requested the use of the Town of Lancaster's Lion Club picnic shelter and the Pascucci Band Shell with access to its restrooms for the annual Symphonic Band picnic and concert on Sunday, September 22nd, 2024, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And whereas the Town Attorney's Office has prepared a release of liability and assumption of risk waiver, which provides the terms and conditions for use of the shelter, band shell, and facilities, which Lancaster High School Symphonic Band is required to execute and submit with the required proof of insurances to the Town Attorney's Office in advance of the event taking place. Now therefore be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby grants the Lancaster High School Symphonic Band's request to use the Town of Lancaster's Lion Club picnic shelter and the Youth Bureau's band shell with access to its restrooms for their annual Symphonic Band picnic and concert on Sunday, September 22nd, 2024, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., pending receipt of the required waiver and proof of insurances by the Town Attorney's Office.
Do we have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Resolution number 20, Councilmember Studley, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor and Honorable Board. I offer resolution number 20, whereas by written approval from Director of Administration and Finance, Nicholas Swanson, has approved the request from Chief of Police, William Gummo, for the Town of Lancaster's Police Department for the recommended adjustments to the town's 2024 adopted budget. Now therefore be it resolved that the following budget amendments be and are hereby approved in the 2024 adopted budget of the Town of Lancaster. So under police, we're transferring $20,000 from other capital outlay to contractual services.
Do we have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Councilmember Dickman, number 21, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Honorable Board, I offer Resolution 21. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster has reviewed a memorandum of agreement which has been reached between the negotiating teams representing the Town of Lancaster and the Cayuga Club Police Benevolent Association regarding a revision of the collective bargaining agreement relative to guaranteed personal leave days for field training officers. And whereas after due review and consideration, the Town Board deems it in the public interest to ratify the memorandum of agreement between the Town of Lancaster and the Cayuga Club Police Benevolence Association. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby authorizes the Town Supervisor to execute on behalf of the Town of Lancaster the memorandum of agreement by and between the Town of Lancaster and the Cayuga Club Police Benevolent Association as presented.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
On the question? Hang on one second. I mean, I'm reading this, we're not actually, there's no revision of the collective bargaining agreement. The MOA is independent of the collective bargaining agreement. Isn't that correct? Because again, we're not changing the collective bargaining agreement. This is an MOA, so we don't change the collective bargaining agreement.
So we're saying we want to change the wording, maybe
Addition?
in the public interest to, not to ratify, but
I would say like an amendment to it.
amend the memorandum of agreement, yeah?
Is that even, yeah, that's still changing
Public
it. That's
interest
still changing it.
in the public interest to implement a memorandum of
Yeah.
Yeah,
agreement?
let's leave it more general like that, because again, we're not changing the overall CBA. Okay, can we do that?
Hold on one second. You have to change the first whereas regarding a revision in the collective bargaining agreement, so you want to get rid of revision in that
Yeah, it's not a revision.
regarding,
The MOA is to be implemented.
Can we just take revision?
Regarding,
Regarding the collective bargaining agreement?
But again, we're not changing the collective bargaining agreement. We're putting in this MOA to not change the collective bargaining agreement at this point. That'll come when we talk about the CBA stuff in the future. This is just an MOA in addition to.
so we could say the Cuba Club Police Benevolent Association regarding the collective bargaining agreement?
Okay.
Are you saying you want that out of there? Because it's not? Is that what you're saying?
That's basically, Chief, do you disagree with that? I mean, we're not changing the whole collective bargaining agreement. We're putting this in as not a revision, but maybe even an addition to it.
The implementation of a memorandum of agreement along with the, will coincide with the collective bargaining agreement.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That's good. That's why you get the big bucks.
Did you get that, Diana?
Why you wear gold badge.
Zach? Is the rest of the board good with that?
Sure.
Okay. Okay.
But does
Hold on a
Diane have
second.
that? I want to make sure she's got it
Yeah.
before we move on.
Okay, so for the first whereas, reached between the negotiating team representing the town of Lancaster and the Cuba Club Police Benevolent Association regarding the collective bargaining agreement relative blah, blah, blah. Whereas after due review and consideration, the town board deems it in the public interest to implement the memorandum of agreement coincided with the collective bargaining agreement between the town of Lancaster and Cayuga Club Police Benevolent Association. And then is the last, now therefore be it resolved, looks fine?
Yeah, that looks good, I think.
Yes.
Okay, that's better.
Yeah.
Okay, and did we have a second?
We have Councilmember Burkhardt?
Okay, on the roll?
Councilmember Burkhardt?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Resolution number 22, Councilmember Burkhardt, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor and Honorable Town Board. I'm offering Resolution 22 for adoption. Whereas Town of Lancaster Highway Superintendent John Filato, by letter dated September 9th, 2024, has requested the purchase of one new and unused TL3 Lightning Loader grapple for use by the Highway Department. And whereas the above referenced loader is available from Sycon Equipment, Henrietta Road, Rush, New York, and will be purchased per Sourcewell, a local government and procurement collaborative of the state of Minnesota, of which the town of Lancaster is a member and will be piggybacking from, which will eliminate the need for competitive bidding pursuant to Section 103-16 of General Municipal Law, contract number 040-621-PII. Solicitation number RFP number 040-621, and whereas the purchase price of one new and unused TL3 Lightning Loader grapple is $242,807 and will be paid for out of the highway budget line 13-5110-0220, passenger vehicles. And whereas the town board of the town of Lancaster has previously adopted an operating budget for 2024 fiscal year, and whereas the 2024 operating budget requires the following budget transfers to highway budget line 13-5110-0220. passenger vehicles to allow for this expenditure. There are 12 expenditure lines. It equals $228,000, and there'll be $50,000 off of one, $3,000, $3,200, $30,000, $10,000, $35,000, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, $27,500, $1,800, and $63,000 for a total of $228,000. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby approves the expenditure of funds as requested by John Pilato, Highway Superintendent of the Town of Lancaster, by Sycon Equipment in the total amount of $242,807 for the purchase of one new and unused TL3 Lightning Loader Grapple, and be further resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby approves and authorizes the budget transfer in the 2024 operating budget in the amount of $228,000 from multiple budget lines to the highway budget line of passenger vehicles.
There's one more, be it further. Couple
Yeah,
more,
Is there
be it-
one more?
There's a couple more. There's two more.
There's two more. Read it.
Yeah.
Read it on my phone. Be it further resolved, the Town Board deems it in the public interest purchasing one new and unused TL3 Lightning Loader Grapple. Be it further resolved, the purchase of one new and unused TL3 Lightning Loader Grapple will be paid for through highway budget line passenger vehicles.
We have a second.
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart.
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman.
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder.
Yes.
Councilmember Studley.
Yes.
Supervisor Leary.
Yes. Resolution number 23. Whereas it is in the public interest for the town of Lancaster to enter into a universal multimodal capital project agreement with New York State Department of Transportation for a traffic signal backup system. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby authorizes the town supervisor, Robert Leary, to execute the universal multimodal capital project agreement. Do we have a second?
Second.
On the question? Okay, and basically what this one is all about is we're going to get $125,000 from the state of New York. This should have been taken care of last year, but the previous administration did not take care of this last year. So once I'm allowed to sign this agreement, we should be getting a grant for $125,000. And that's what it's about. On the roll.
Councilmember Burkhart.
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman.
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder.
Yes.
Councilmember Studley.
Yes.
Supervisor Leary.
Yes. Resolution number 24. Only one. Just. Oh, okay. Well, it's your resolution. What do you want to do?
I mean, if the majority of the board wants to table it to the next meeting for more information, I'm fine with that.
I agree with that.
It's going to save me a lot of reading.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, very good. Okay. The next step in our town board meeting is the presentation of communications by town clerk. And number 460, Planning and Zoning Committee. 461, received and filed. 462, received and filed. 463, Highway Superintendent. 464, received and filed. 465, Planning and Zoning Committee. 466, Planning and Zoning Committee and Code Enforcement. 467, Planning and Zoning Committee. 468, for resolution. 469, received and filed. 470, received and filed. 471, received and filed. 472 for resolution. 473, resolution tonight. 474, received and filed. 475, Planning and Zoning Committee. 476, received and filed. 477, Town Board. 478, Planning and Zoning Committee. 479, received and filed. 480, Planning and Zoning Committee. 481, for resolution. 482, resolution on 9/16. 483, Finance and Management Committee. 484, resolution tonight. 485, resolution tonight. 486, Town Board. 487, Planning and Zoning Committee. 488, Resolution 916. 489, Planning and Zoning Committee. 490, Resolution on 916. Okay, 491, received and filed. 492, received and filed. 493, Code Enforcement, and I knew that. Town Engineer, 494, received and filed. 495, received and filed. Okay. Now we come to the point in the Town Board meeting where we will hear the concerns of persons desiring to address the Town Board on any Town of Lancaster subject for a total period of 30 minutes. Procedure, please raise his or her hand and be recognized by the supervisor. Give his or her name and address to the town clerk. Speak directly to the Town Board members, not the audience, using the microphone provided, and speak once for 5 minutes or less unless the Town Board grants a speaker an extension of this time limit. Do we have anybody who wants to address the Town Board at this time? Come on up, sir.
Paul Nasbus Jr. I live at 31 Newell in the village of Lancaster. Thank you very much, Honorable Supervisor Leary. On 19th of August and 3rd of September 2024, Town Supervisor Leary presented pre-filed resolutions in regards to final plats approval of the Field Stream subdivision, whereas Town Code Chapter 400/38H8 with Mr. Caporetto and Mr. Pandolfo failed to meet the laws and regulations of the Town Code. Subject in Resolution Number 15 and Resolution Number 5 for the Town Board to rescind the final plats approval of the Field Stream subdivision. Within the roll call adoption of the resolutions, vote on 19th August and 3rd of September 2024, Supervisor Leary and Councilmember Schroeder voting yes, while Councilmembers Dudley, Dickman, and Burkhart voting no, with 3rd of September Councilmember Dickman absent. Questions arose with Councilmembers Dudley, Dickman, and Burkhart voting no to the Town Code Chapter 400/38H8. So what rationale and conclusion in voting no? I will begin with Councilmember Studley. Why did you vote no? Please.
I voted no because it was not solely the fault of the contractor. There are things that were not signed on time on the town's behalf, and ethically, I could not vote in favor of rescinding something if it was also our fault.
Councilmember Dickman, I'd like to hear a comment from you.
Basically, I would echo what Missy said. You know, it was something that was approved last year in September, and I was a yes vote for it at the time. And when there was evidence brought to us that the town was also at fault for some of these deadlines, I didn't feel it was the right decision to vote yes to rescind it.
Mr. Burkhart, I'd like to hear a comment, please.
Echo the same. When Mr. Capretto received the deed, that was, I think, May 8th. It was sent in to be signed. It was signed here at Town Hall and sent to Erie County. That it was accepted, and over 3 months later, that is when the rest of the town board received notice to rescind it. In addition to that, land that was at the end of last meeting would not have transferred to the town because Field Stream was not going to be approved. So taking everything in account, that's why I voted.
Thank you.
Can I just jump in here, because what didn't we sign on time?
Water.
Kano didn't sign the water line, and so you signed it and sent it on February 1st.
Right, as soon as I get in office, I signed it, so. Okay, so the previous administration, we're saying, didn't sign that on time. Is there a restriction, Matt, on the time that this water had to be signed, the agreement had to be signed? Is there a date on that in the code?
I wasn't able to review the permit for the water authority, which is the document we were discussing from the extension of the water main.
I don't remember exactly what it was, but
I
yeah.
believe that's what it was. It was a permit document from Erie County Water Authority to install that section of water.
Okay, is there a time limit that, in the code that
I'm not
has to be
familiar
signed?
with the application.
I'm sorry?
I'm not familiar with the application and the duration of the county's water permit.
Okay, can you check on that for me?
I will.
Because again, I don't, it probably should have been signed before, but is there a specific?
I'm not sure if there's a timeline on it at all.
Okay, yeah, I just want to be clear on that, so we're going to have to check on that. Just, again, I don't want to be saying that the town didn't do something it was supposed to do unless we know for a fact there was some type of limit and when they should have signed it. Sure, should they have signed it before that? Probably, but again, that was the last administration, and I'm not quite sure what they were doing at that point. Okay, sorry to interrupt you.
No, not at all.
Give you the time back on that.
Supervisor. Councilmember Schroeder, why did you vote yes then?
Well, I saw it as a business situation, whereas the entity failed 3 times to file an extension. And frankly, at that juncture, it's kind of like, oh, well, bad business. Now, you might have to just start all over again.
Thank you. Supervisor Larry, can I hear a comment from you, sir, please?
Sure, I'll echo what Councilmember Schroeder said. It is clear in our town code as to what has to happen under those circumstances. Now, other town boards before us put that into the code, voted for that. We should adhere to what the current law code is, and therefore it's not up to me to decide, we're just going to get away from that code altogether. It wasn't rescinding their whole project. It was basically they had to go back and reapply because they hadn't done it properly. The proper procedure would have been to say, hey, listen, we want to change this, we don't agree with this, and then you move forward and you try to get that section of the code changed. So I'm here to try to enforce the code of the town of Lancaster. I feel that's my responsibility, so that's what I'll continue to do. Thank you.
So I will close with what happened on 19th August and September 3rd, 2024 with Council Members Studley, Dickman, and Burkhart regarding their vote in regards to the Fieldstream subdivision final plat. I request the outside counsel to conduct an investigation into violating Town Code Chapter 400/38H8 laws and regulations, whereas Town Supervisor will keep the town residents make known the conclusion of this investigation. Thank you, Town Council.
Okay, so in this case, 3 members, are on the, we'll just call it one side. That leaves 2 members. The town attorney represents the majority of the board. So again, they can't do that. So if you want to do anything with it, you got to do it yourself.
That's why can't we have an outside town council to have an investigation outside of...
Because it's up to the 3 people here whether we can do that or not. I guess we can send an email around and try to get that, but I'm guessing by the way they voted, do you want to do that? No? 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 Okay. So
Which
again,
means if I take it to the county, which I know because it is a little incident, and if this comes up again where a resolution that you bring to the board, I know too often when you do it, Mr. Leary is voted down. Prior history, been here many times and watched the gamemanship of politics. So if I take it to the county, which I know, they'll probably, because it doesn't, which they'll say is not worth $1 million. So, which means if to me, to all the men behind me and the women that are, especially Matt, who is Mr. Code, if they break any codes, you got to bring them up on charges. With council members, nothing. If there's something really, really, really wrong when the council members themselves supposed to uphold, they took an oath of office with your hand on the Bible before God to uphold the codes, the laws, and regulations of the town of Lancaster, and they failed. They failed. They failed the residents, and they failed the rest of the men and women that hold positions in the town of Lancaster. Thank you.
Sure, and just to straighten out what you said, the only thing that the people can do is anybody who's hurt by that decision can Article 78 the town board. In the same way the developers come in here and always threaten, go after us on Article 78, so somebody can Article 78 the town board if they so desire.
The loss. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else want to address the town board at this time on any issue you want to talk about? Okay, I see no hands raised, so at this time I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
On the roll.
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Okay. Nick, can we get you in on this? Chief, can you come to this first one as well? Sorry, we got a recent email that involves you.
I'll put it down here.